What's up, guys? I'm Joe, and thanks for tuning in to Backcountry Treks. So, if you're asking yourself, what is the Big Three? The Big Three is what backpackers refer to as their pack, their shelter, and their sleep system. Now, obviously, there's a ton of different packs, shelters, and sleep systems out there, so if you are in the market, please take your time, do a lot of research, read a lot of reviews. There's a lot of great stuff out there on YouTube and different websites that share people's experience with that particular piece of gear. Don't be hasty on any of these decisions, and understand that sometimes it does take some trial and error to get that really dialed in. I want to mention that everything I show you today will be linked in the description box below, so if you're interested, please feel free to check that out. Alright, so I'm going to start off by sharing my current pack of choice, and that is the Z-Packs Arc Haul. It is a 62 liter pack. I went with the size medium torso length and the size medium belt size, and just for reference, I am 6 feet tall, about 205 pounds, and it fits me really well. Now, Z-Packs backpacks do not come with any additional accessories, meaning they don't come with any hip pouches or shoulder straps. So if you're interested in any of those additional items, they would be add-ons on their website. So with the add-ons that I chose for my pack, the total weight is 26.3 ounces or 720 grams. I've been using this pack for about a year and a half now, and I absolutely love it. It's very comfortable. It's highly water resistant. I don't use a rain cover at all. I do keep my items that I want to keep completely dry, such as my down quilt and my down underquilt. I keep them in dry sacks just for additional protection in the event of any heavy downpour or precipitation. So far, it's done really well. Next up is my shelter of choice. I am primarily a hammock camper, and being a Lancaster County local, obviously I gotta support Dutchware. So I went with the Dutchware Chameleon. It is an 11-foot hammock. I went with the wide version and the 1.6 Hexon material. This thing, in its little stuff sack, weighs 23.2 ounces or 659 grams. I get a great night's sleep in it and have nothing but good things to say about it. For my suspension, I went with the polypropylene spider straps. I don't actually know what any of that really is. They're fairly lightweight. They're supposed to help mitigate the absorption of water. I'd say that works, kind of. I also went with the beetle buckles, which is what my continuous loop hooks onto. And both straps, beetle buckles included, with 6.5 ounces or 186 grams. Now, obviously, if you are a hammock camper, you need a tarp for any kind of wind, weather, rain, any precipitation. My current tarp of choice is the Dynamic Hex Tarp from Hammock Gear. I went with a split ridge line with Dutchware stingers on either end of the Beastie D-rings, as they're called on Hammock Gear's website. And to stake out my tarp, I'll be honest, I use aluminum stakes that I get from Walmart. I've had no problems with them so far, and they are 79 cents a piece. I refuse to spend, $3 per stake when they can bend just as easily as the ones from Walmart, in my experience. I have spent more money on ones before, and it was a waste, so I just go with the cheapos now, and they do work really well. I use hookworms and reflective line to tie out to my stakes to my tarp. And full disclosure, if I were to do that all over again, I would probably go with line locks instead of the hookworms. Reason being is with the hookworms, you have to tie this little knot. It's really easy to do, but I have a hard time really tightening that, the ends of the tarps down in the event of high winds or anything like that. So with the line locks, you can just tug on it and pull it as tight as you want it to be, and it stays put. So probably going to wind up swapping out my hookworms for the line locks. I keep my tarp organized in what's called a snakeskin from Hammock Gear. It makes it really easy to set up and deploy and also pack up. So the total weight of the tarp, the snakeskin, the stingers, and the lines that go out from the stingers to go around the tree weighs a total of 6.98 ounces or 197.88 grams. So it is nice and light. And last but not least, my sleep system. Being a hammock camper, I did go with a top quilt versus a mummy bag or sleeping bag. My top quilt of choice is the 20 degree Enlightened Equipment Revelation. I know some people that aren't used to them can't understand the concept of not having anything on your back. Quilts just kind of wrap around you and tuck in. But the fact of the matter is, when you are laying on your sleeping bag, all that down is getting compressed, and once that's compressed, it loses all of its ability to insulate you. With a quilt, it eliminates that material altogether, so it's lighter, is able to pack smaller, and I've been able to use this top quilt all the way down to, I think I've had it around 17 or 18 degrees Fahrenheit, and as high as about 60 degrees. Obviously, if I'm taking it up that high, I have the whole thing opened up like a blanket and I'm hanging a leg out. But that's what I really like about quilts, is their versatility. The total weight of this particular quilt is 23.61 ounces, or 669.33 grams. For the bottom side of my insulation, I went with an underquilt from Hammock called the Incubator, and that is also a 20 degree. Again, I've been able to take that down to about 17 or 18 degrees Fahrenheit comfortably. If you are going to take it that low, I recommend supplementing with some additional layers. Obviously, I wear my puff jacket, I have down pants, and I have down booties, with my down hood pulled up. And if I really feel like the wind is kind of sucking some of the heat out of me, I will stuff the large size hand warmers into my pockets, and that really helps keep me warm through those colder temperatures below 20 degrees. I've also been able to take that up to about 50 degrees comfortably, just keeping the draft collars wide open and allowing that air to pass through, and the versatility of it's great. If it's cold, you keep it tight up against. If it's warmer out, you allow more room for air to pass through, and you'll sleep comfortably in warmer weather. The total weight of the underquilt is 25.02 ounces, or 708.74 grams. Now, I want to mention that there is a little bit of a learning curve if you are getting into hammock camping. If at first it seems like you can't get comfortable, or the idea of sleeping in the shape of a banana turns you off, just know that that is not the intended way that you're supposed to sleep. There is a much better way to utilize the hammock that you're very comfortable with, the correct size ridge line, which both Hammock Gear and Dutchware do include with their hammocks. So they're tailored perfectly for that. If you have the patience to give that a try and you get used to it, I promise you will never go back. At least I will not. I'm way into it, and it's awesome. Well guys, that wraps up my big three. If you found any value in this video, again, please hit that like button. Thanks again for tuning in to Backcountry Treks, and I'll see you on the next one.